What's up, everybody? It's your boy Coach T with Chicago Bears 360, back with another live video for you this Sunday. A little bit of different setup this morning. Had to do some adjusting, but it's all good. Do me a favor as you come in the comments, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Also follow me on Twitter at Bears360 _ Coach T. Our boy Coach Swifty, Swifty will be joining us in a minute. Sign Swifty a coach real fast. Listen, I think we got a pretty good show for you today. The Bears finally signed rookie Kyler Gordon to his rookie contract. Also signed a gentleman by the name of Jason Stanley. We're going to talk about that signing and some more. So let's get into it. Y'all know what's next. Cue the intro, maestro. Let's go. Contra.
Life like chess, move to pieces, you know I roll in silence. On the road to them Benjis, I fill my teeth with diamonds. I'm high as fuck in the sky, you would've thought I'm pilot. I'm from Chicago, it get ugly, fill the streets with violence. Life like chess, move to pieces, you know I roll in silence.
Past, present, future. We bear down.
And we're back. Welcome to the show. Listen, it's your boy Coach T with Chicago Bears 360 with Coach T and Swifty. Yes, I'm already jacking up transition, but it's okay. Listen, it's okay. I'm doing too much today. Like I said earlier, man, do me a favor as you come in. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Also follow me on Twitter at Bears360 _ Coach T. Also, check out my boy Swifty on Twitter as well, man. I think it's Swifty TV. On Twitter, tap in. I failed to mention at the start of the intro that we will be doing that Luke Getsy playbook style breakdown. So we're going to be getting into Coach T's playbook later on. Actually, we're going to jump into it earlier in the show. So real fast before we jump into that, y'all know what time it is, man. We got to give a shout out to our field soldiers. Shout out to all the field soldiers, man, who subscribe to the channel to the tune of over 2,000 subscribers to date. Yes, we have over 2,000 subscribers. By the way, man, I totally blew it. I forgot to bring the congratulations or the big celebration graphic in because we are over 2,000 subscribers, and I've been working on it for about 4 weeks now, and I'm finally monetized. We finally monetized the channel. So guess what you guys can do now? You can also do super chats. What's the other thing? I forget. Super chats. All that stuff is available now when we do the live show. So tap in. We haven't set up our membership group yet. We're waiting on some things to do that. Also have some candidates for sponsorships out there for the show. So we're excited about all that stuff going on and the growth of the channel. I really appreciate you guys being a part of what we're doing at Chicago Bears 360. Listen, man, I know it's the days of summer, right? Basketball just ended. Shout out to the Golden State Warriors that won, this fourth championship to cement their dynasty in the NBA world. Shout out to them. But y'all know we've entered the dog days of summer now. It's hot as heck outside, especially here in Georgia. All over the eastern kind of coast, we're having record temperatures. And then y'all know what it is. You know, no shade to baseball. You know what I'm saying? I like going to the games, but I just don't like watching baseball on TV. I'm just going to go ahead and admit it, right? Not a huge super baseball fan, but I do support the home teams, the Cubs and the Sox. I know that sounds like blasphemy, but yes, I do support both Chicago teams, right? So it's like that, man. If Chicago's winning, then I'm with it, right? So I do like playoff baseball, however. But I mentioned the dog days of summer because the dog days of summer usually leaves us about a 1.5 month gap and lull in Bears or football news coverage. So we got to have something to talk about. Of course, you look for the news cycles. You look for Bears Twitter. You look for the beat writers out there to, you know what I'm saying, drum up a little controversy, right? There's going to be a lot of clickbait out there that you see on social media related to the Bears. Just be mindful of that because the news cycle is slow, right? Not a whole lot of information. Usually, too, this is the time of year when players all over the NFL get into some sort of trouble. Why? Because idle mind is the devil's playground. So you got these guys out there, you got a little bit of money, and sometimes, you know what I'm saying, they get themselves in circumstances and situations. It seems like every summer there's at least one big story that hits the news cycle about some NFL player that gets themselves into trouble. And unfortunately, the Bears are no exception. We got a linebacker that's out there, got himself in a little bit of legal trouble. Hopefully, it doesn't become something major. I think it's one of our reserve linebackers. I'll let Swifty kind of dive into that and give us a name and all that other stuff here later on in the show. But yeah, we have to be mindful of that. But as far as the news cycle is concerned, as far as the coverage is concerned, listen, we're going to do what we do here at Chicago Bears 360. We're going to focus on the positive. We're going to focus on being optimistic. We're going to report the news. Like my boy Swifty always says, it's knowledge over narratives. And like I always say, it's research over me search. We're going to give y'all that good content, and we're going to keep it going. So it's like that. So with no further ado, we're going to do a little bit earlier this week. And then also I have another announcement. Because we're over 2,000 followers now, I said every 1,000 followers, we're going to add a day to the show. So coming up real soon, I'm going to be shifting Coach T's playbook to a Wednesday show. Right? We're going to focus on the playbook on a Wednesday show. We're going to have a midweek show. More to come on that. I'll give you specific times. Probably next week, I'll give you the specific time. It's going to be around the 6 to 7 o'clock hour Eastern Standard Time. But we're going to add a midweek show to it. Also, we're going to be shifting this show when we get to the season. We're going to be shifting this show to 12 Eastern Standard Time, 11 Central, as a pregame show because we don't want to go live during the games. I want to take the time to be able to enjoy the games, and then I may add a post-game show after that as well. But like I said, man, let's get into it so y'all know what's next. It's Coach T's playbook, man. We're going to jump right into it. I appreciate everybody that's joined throughout this series. I know it's a lot. I know it's a lot of information. I know it's a lot to digest. So I tried not to go too nerdy with it, too far into detail because, you know what I'm saying, I just don't want to, get too crazy and, you know what I'm saying, lose the vibe or lose the audience. But we're going to do a quick recap, right? We're going to do a quick recap on the playbook version. And then we'll get some more stuff going on right here. Let me see what we got. Let me get everything set up here, and then we'll jump right into it. How about that? All right, Coach T's playbook. We got that. All right, let's do the real recap. All right. Kenny Ray said, Matt Adams out there with that stick. Yeah, man, put your poles down, put your sticks down. Now, I'll say this, man. I am an advocate of, you know what I'm saying, your right to carry, right? Carry legally, right? And make sure you're doing it the right way. Coach T, make sure I move around the city. I got that thing on me, too. So, listen, totally an advocate for that, but you got to do it the right way to keep yourself out of trouble. So, let's get into this, man. Quick recap. So, we talked about in the playbook, we talked about some of those power concepts that I felt like, Luke Getsy would adapt from a Kyle Shanahan, Joe Moorhead type of offense. I believe they're going to pull a lot of those concepts into this offense. So I really want to add some things this week, particularly about I forgot to add a split zone. But also I want to get into some of the zone read concepts. And then I want to show y'all how, you know what I'm saying, we kind of manipulate formations and how we try to manipulate the numbers or spread, go to different variations of formations real fast. So we're going to do split zone. I'll do play action off the split zone because I believe we're going to see that. I think that's a real big staple to McVay, Kyle Shanahan, in that whole coaching trees play call. And it's just a natural play that comes off of, split zone. So we talked about the power concepts. I want to skip down real fast and really focus on the zone concept real fast, because if we're talking Shanahan, we're going to talk about outside zone, right? I kind of conceded that, but I conceded it, but not really, because the power concepts and the zone concepts are still there. But I see kind of how Kyle sets up his power concepts by running zone, right? So he'll run zone, he'll run toss, and then he'll come back and run the power concept, mostly counters off of the zone concept. So that's the play we kind of threw out here, right here, the 37 zone or toss, right? So we said we got a break bang or bend it back, right? So basically we have the X in the flee motion, short motion, orbit, right? We're going to orbit him around. So we're going to send this guy in motion. Snap of the ball, he's orbiting, right? He's orbiting, breaks behind, and then we're just either running toss or we're running the outside zone. The back has the decision is break it outside, bang it inside after the fullback, or bend it back, right? That's a basic 37 zone, outside zone. That gives him the opportunity to do that. Now, the question is, what makes us counter? What makes us choose to have to go out and counter, right? What makes us respond? Like, defenses are going to make adjustments during the game to force an offensive coordinator to make adjustments. They're not going to sit here and just let us win on an outside zone an entire game, right? So they're going to move a safety down in the box. They're going to start blitzing linebackers. They're going to shift formations. They're going to shift over to the strength side a little more. First, they probably start with some kind of defensive line stunts and or slants, right? So they'll maybe do some slants from the defensive line, outside linebacker standpoint. They'll slant them to the strength of the formation. They'll shade the defense to the strength side. And then last but not least, they'll walk a safety down into the box to add an additional man to the box if we start beating them up on that stuff, right? So how do we counter that? We counter that by coming back and going with some sort of play action, right? That's usually how it happens, right? So Kenny brings up a good point. Three-headed dragon, Amani, Herbert, and Blasting game, so versatile in zone power scheme. I agree with Kenny. We'll go ahead and throw that comment up just because I think it's such a great statement. Kenny's right. I think we have exceptional backs. We have Ebner, we have Herbert, we have Monty. All of them have different but somewhat similar skill sets. I think Ebner and Herbert are more home run hitters. So I talked about that. I said we can play those guys in outside the 20s, between the 20s and 20s, and hopefully you get a good play. But what I would do as a coordinator is I would give Monty his carries, right? But I would get one of those guys that could break a long one in the game earlier to get them some carries, like running back by committee, but really have Monty reserved for end zone carries, man, for the red zone, because getting that ball, running the ball in the red zone, running it with goal to go is a little bit more difficult in a lot of situations. So definitely put him in a situation where he could succeed and have his energy and strength in the red zone so he can make plays, right? So let me skip down because I wanted to copy. I want to kind of go with a variation of this outside zone. So let's see if we can do. Let's see if Coach T can pull off a little copy and paste right here, because I want to add the split zone, right? I want to add the split zone play to this concept right here, because I believe it's key, right? It's one of those staples, right? It's one of those staples to this offense. So let's remove all this extra eye candy and stuff like that. Let's get some of this stuff off the screen. Appreciate y'all in the comments. Do me a favor, run the likes up. Go ahead and throw y'all questions or comments in. I'm going to be highlighting them the best I can and then addressing your comments as we go through this. We're multitasking, but we're going to make it happen. All right, so one of the things you're going to notice immediately off of split zone is you're going to bring the Y off. We're going to bring the tight end off the line of scrimmage, right? You guys are probably very familiar with this play. You've seen it a million times during the Nagy era, right? Nagy Pace era. So we're going to bring the tight end off the line of scrimmage, the Y off the line of scrimmage. Now, if we bring the Y off the line of scrimmage, what do we have to do? We have to make sure we don't have too many players in the backfield, right? Right? So what are we doing? We have the quarterback, 1, 2, 3, count the bodies. 1, 2, 3, 4 in the backfield. So if we got to have them lined up like this, I formation, Y off, then we got to make sure that we bring our X and our Z on the line of scrimmage, right? So the rule states we got 4 eligible backs in the backfield, and we have to have 7 on the line of scrimmage. Now, if we do that, then that affects how we're able to send people in motion, right? Because notice, if these guys, the X is on, the Y is on, the X is on, the Z is on, the X is on, the Z is on, then they're on the line of scrimmage. We can't send them in motion in those situations, right? I might have to double check that, but I'm pretty sure you can't see them in motion. So only guys we can send in motion are our backs. Now, simple split zone, snap of the ball. This is all we're doing. Shout out to Don Burr in the comments. Always a committed follower to anything Bears. We appreciate the support. And by the way, we're going to smoke Detroit this year. All right. So, snap of the ball, the tight end actually bucks back across the formation. You still got the fullback seal right here. So, the fullback is still going to seal to the outside, right? But it makes it somewhat easier, but also harder at the same time to have the running back do the proper reads, the similar reads. So break, bend, break, bang, bend, right? Break, bang, bend. Fullback is just the Y is just cutting back across the formation, right? And the only thing I believe will probably change in the blocking scheme is this right here. Let me get the guard doing something because I don't have him blocking anybody. Right, so we're basically blocking it like outside zone, right? The only thing that I would probably change here in the blocking scheme is I'm going to have this guy go straight on the backer, right? We'll have the tight end responsible for the outside tackle or defensive tackle or end, right? So we'll have the tight end lead up on him, right? We'll have the tight end get backside. Tight end get backside. All right. Oh, no, that's not it. All right. We'll have the tight end bang across the formation. Kind of like he's doing a wham block all the way across the formation, but we're not. That's split zone, right? So, again, the running back has similar decisions to make as with outside zone, right? He's going to he's either going to break it outside. She's going to either break it outside, bang it behind the fullback. That's a pretty long arrow I drew right there. Y'all like that? All right, he's either going to bang it behind the fullback, get up in there, or he has the now added decision. Now he has this cross block coming back to the outside where he can cut back off of the tight end and get up in there. Now, how do you feel about our running backs' ability to execute said split zone play, right? Because a lot of times we have these discussions, we have these arguments or disagreements about who the Bears should sign in free agency and all this other stuff, right? But just because you see a running back out there that's, he was great with this organization and stuff like that, we immediately default to, hey, the Bears should sign that guy because, you know, he was good at Tennessee, right? He was good at this location. He was good at that place, right? We never take into consideration, what is it? What system are we running? Shout out to everybody that's been tweeting or retweeting. The system is the star. That's taking on a life of its own, right? Right. So, you know, we never really take into consideration, all right, yeah, this guy's a free agent. He's on the market. Not only is he going to be expensive, but also, is he a system fit? What do we like to do, right? We're going to run outside zone, and then we're going to go with some counter off of outside zone. So when we're talking about free agents, when we're talking about signings, from now in the future, I want our particular audience here at Chicago Bears 360 to be thinking about that. Think about system fits first, and we'll have more of a better idea that what that looks like after this season. But still, you'll be able to make the connection and understand the why of, hey, we signed this guy because this guy can break it, bend it, or bend it, break it, bang it, or bend it as a running back or as a wide receiver. And one of the things I was going to talk about today is one thing I noticed about Shanahan wide receivers, McVay wide receivers, they have a lot of blocking responsibilities too. That may have a lot to do with why Debo probably wants out of the 49ers. He doesn't just get to be a wide receiver. In the Kyle Shanahan style offense, you don't just get to be a wide receiver. You have to block. You have to be a running back. You have to be able to do everything, right? And I just think that's what makes that offense unique, right? As a wide receiver, you have to be able to do everything. So back to the split zone, break it outside, bang it behind the fullback, boom, right? And then bend it back and off of the tail right there of off of that split block by the wide tight end coming across the formation, right? So that's kind of, that's kind of staple for what they do in the split zone. So I wanted to add the split zone because it works as well. It's part of the staple of what they do in this offense. I believe we'll see it as a fundamental play call as a part of this system, right? But what do they do off of it? How do they counter off a split zone? Still the same play. So we have the play action play up here that we drew up last week with the Yankee concept, right? The Yankee or sail, right? I heard the word sail used as well. So there'll be a Yankee or sail concept, right? And the whole idea is to get the weak side receiver in a 9 route, some sort of 9 route or post route, right? So they're going to run a 9 and or a post. Let me throw a post in here for y'all so y'all don't kill me saying, Coach T, that ain't no post route. Post route, boom. All right? All right. So that's a number of route combinations. And the idea is just to occupy these guys right here, to get somebody wrong. Get a free safety wrong. Then they're going to drag the X across the formation, shallow cross, right? They also run a tight end delay off of this, right? This play action, it'll be either a tight end delay or a tight end delay or a delayed drag off of this, and then get your fullback in the flat as well, right? Some sort of concept like that to get everybody occupied. And again, this is unique because it allows us to play off of the run game, but also play action actually protects holes that you may have in the offensive line, right? Usually with play action, you can manipulate the numbers. And why does that help your play action? Why does play action help your pass game? Because your linebackers have to play run first, right? So what's going to happen is snap of the ball, we're running play action like we're faking, or we're going to fake the run, but your linebackers have to respond, and they have to respond to their run fields first, right? So you're going to get linebackers stepping up in their particular gap assignments, right? So this guy will get outside contain, this guy here outside. They'll step into the individual run fits, right? And then before they know it, it's too late. You got the X on a deep cross, right? You got the post route, you got the 9 route, and then you got a guy coming across the middle on a deep post or you got your fullback back in the flat, or you got your tight end on a deep drag route. So it's all part of the scheme. Now, when I think about some of the challenges that we say we have, right, that we may have in the offensive line, I think, what's going to be critical to that is our ability to run the ball, right? We can cover up a lot of our weaknesses as an offensive line if we're successful in running the ball, right? And it's no secret, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not comfortable yet with the lineup we have. What we're potentially having with this offensive line. This is why I can't wait till we get into camp, because we need to figure out who these guys are. And we need to understand, we need to know that when we can't run the ball, right? When we can't run the ball and we have to be in situations that we have to pass protect for long periods of time, or we're in situations where we have to block 5-man protection a lot, right? When we're behind, or we're not able to run the ball, or we're getting negative plays, and we're off schedule in obvious pass situations where we need to block 5-man protection. I'm curious to see who our guys are going to be, because that's going to be critical to the success. You're not going to, it would be foolish of us to think that we're going to be able to dominate every team in the run game, and we're going to be able to just get what we want, take what we want from defenses, right? We're going to have success on some teams because we have a dynamic group of running backs, hopefully, and we're going to hopefully be able to stay on schedule as far as our run game, outside zone, inside zone, counter, play action, you know what I'm saying, and keep the chains moving to stay on schedule. But my hope is that we have 5 guys that can hold up in pass protection for obvious situations. We're down, 2-minute situations. We're down in the game. We're behind schedule, 2-minute situations. It's just situations like that we can't avoid having great 5 guys up front that can hold their own in pass protection, right? So that's that. That's the outside zone. I wanted to show that. Got into that. So let's run a quick sequence of plays, right? Start the game. Let's run a quick sequence. Let's script out these plays a little bit, right? We start the game. All right. Luke might want to, hey, let's hit him with some outside zone. Let's start him out. Let's get him hurt going horizontal, right? Let's get him horizontal. Let's get these defenders running. Let's get these big boys up front. Let's get these defensive linemen running sideline to sideline to make their legs weak, right? That's my mentality when I start a game. I want to get guys that's not used to running. So let me get these defensive linemen, these big guys, these heavier guys. Let me get them running and chasing, right? So I might call a toss. I might call an outside zone. With me, more likely it's going to be a toss, some kind of bug sweep or toss like that. I want to get you running sideline to sideline to wear your legs out. It's gonna make it easier for my offensive line to tee off on you if your legs aren't there. So if you're sucking wind, right? If you're sucking wind and I'm playing fast, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm going tempo, no huddle, right? I'm speeding up the clock. I'm speeding up the pace of play. Now I'm getting you running sideline to sideline, buck sweep, outside zone toss. That's this play here, right? That's this play here. So 21 personnel, we call it prime. 21 personnel formation, pro left eye. We're going to go 37 zone, 27 toss. That's to get you to go outside, get you running, right? So what happens? I'm beating you up on that. What do we start doing? What do defenses start doing? They're either going to start slanting. They're going to start blitzing, run blitzing to keep us from beating them up in these toss games. More than likely, they'll bring somebody down in the box, right? A safety down in the box, right? To kind of help defend that situation and get extra bodies on there if we're winning that. If we're not winning, they're going to keep that safety back and keep playing it, base defense, right? But let's say they do bring a safety down, right? More than likely, they're bringing a safety in the box. They're going single high coverage. They're going to be in cover 3. Corners are going to play off a little bit, right? I haven't said anything about coverages and how to read coverages, because we haven't talked a whole lot about pass protection, about pass concepts, but we're going to add some more. But if they're going single high safety, I back the corners off, right? Basically, the field is divided in thirds right now. Either they're single high safety, either they're in man, cover 3, or cover 3 match. Let's take those as basic coverages they're in. They're in man, right? Man, everybody's manned up, 8-man box. 3 right here is 8, 11. So 11 on each side. 3 plus 8 equal 11. So 8-man box, right? They're going to either be in man or cover 3. Cover 3, the field is divided in thirds. 1, 2, 3. This guy has the outer third. Free safety is going to have the middle third. This guy's going to have his third, right? Basically putting them in a compromised situation. So my ability to come back and respond to this, I'm going to respond to this a number of ways. I'm scripting it out because as an offensive coordinator, you got to think ahead of defensive coordinators. If he brings this guy down in the box, now I know they're in man or cover 3. Do I want to go now and hit him with play action now? Right? Do I want to hit him with this play right here now? Do I want to go to this prime 21 personnel, pro left eye? Let's go X flea orbit, fake 35, Yankee. See how I just spit that out right there? Now, it's not written up that way, but that's how it would come out, right? So I know a lot of coordinators, they'll give you a bound. They'll give you a field of boundary caller too. So they'll say pro left, or they'll go pro left eye, pro right eye, X fleet orbit, fake 35, Yankee, right? I called it play action, but let's change this to Yankee or sail, right? So that's the response. If you walk a safety down in the box, I'm going to give you that work. Yankee or sail. All right? Hopefully y'all tracking. If you got any questions, let me know in the comments, right? So now I'm hitting you with the outside zone. You walk a safety down. You walk a safety down. You hit me. You get me. I'm either going with the play action or, right? Or I'm going to hit you with the counter. Here's the counter concept right here. So I got a choice. You walk that safety down. Here's that safety down in the box again. Where are they moving that safety to? They're moving it to the strong side of the formation and moving to where the tight end at, where you're killing me at, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm not going to run into that no more. I'm not going to run toss or zone. I'm not going to run power into that. I'm going to come back with the counter. This is how you have to script out your plays, right, as an offensive coordinator. So Luke has to have a counter a la Kyle Shanahan in his playbook. So when they walk the safety down or they start slanting into the strong side, now I can come back with my guard fullback counter, my guard tackle counter, my guard wide counter, some sort of counter play, right? So set them up with the power or outside zone or toss. Then I come back with either play action or counter. It's just that simple, right? Here's a GT counter, the guard tackle counter, right? So I'm pulling both the guard and the tackle right there. There's an option, right? All right, so that's it. That's pretty much it in a nutshell. Also, what about outside zone? Another option, another counter, another answer to outside zone. Maybe they're not walking the safety down in the box. They're not walking the safety down in the box, but they're winning. They're winning with their front 7. I just need to give them a new look, right? Then I'm going to go with a wham. I'll go with a fleet orbit 31 wham, right? So what is wham? Wham is the tight end. Instead of the tight end going on the outside zone, right? The tight end is actually breaking back and whamming on the nose tackle. He's pulling inside, whamming on the nose tackle. The running back's motion is like he's running toss or like he's running outside zone, but he's breaking back inside off of the tackle. There's another option, right? You got to have a library of answers. This is one of those things that I just felt like Nagy sucked at. He just didn't have any answers. Not only did he not set anything up, these are all setups. You have a script in your head, game to game, play to play, and then week to week, right? So week to week, you say, I showed this team this. I know the upcoming opponent is going to watch my film, and they're going to have key on our tendencies. They're going to key in on our reads. They're going to key in on our motions. They're going to have a plan. So what do? You say, okay, I'm adding something every week. Every week you're adding something. You're adding eye candy. You're adding wrinkles, orbits, fleas, flies, reverses. You're adding more to the playbook. And that's where your actual creativity comes from as a play caller, because hey, I got to stay one step ahead of my opponent, right? So that's what all this is about, right? So I'm adding the Z fleet orbit. I'm adding the flies. I'm adding reverses. I'm adding all that stuff. I'm building the playbook. I'm growing the playbook week by week, maybe even season to season, right? It goes series to series, quarter to quarter, game to game, week to week, season to season. The more experience you get, the more stuff you see as a coordinator, the more you know, all right, this is how I adjusted to that. And you kind of build it from there, right? So, all right, let's get into some zone read stuff, right? So in order for me to do that, I gotta do something first, right? I gotta start mixing these formations up, right? I gotta start mixing these formations up. So I've only shown one formation so far. I'm surprised nobody called me out on that. But let's go with let's start spreading these formations out. Let's start, making defenders. Now, I'll say this. I haven't added any formations and stuff like that for a reason. Because formations are just formations. They're only how we manipulate numbers. It's only designed to manipulate numbers and put the defense in a compromised position, right? It's 11 on each side of the ball no matter what. But I manipulate numbers with formations, right? So, and personnel. Excuse me. I manipulate numbers and personnel with formations. So I showed y'all a standard pro left eye formation, right? So we got pro left eye. We can either run it with fullback in line, a true eye, or we can go fullback shaded to the strength side, right? So in this case, we got the X on, Z off, tight end on, right? So we can also run pro left eye, Y off. Y off, if Y is off, I got to bring an X on. Y'all see what I did right there? Let's get these guys lined up. Corners out here. All right, so Y off, pro left eye, Y off, another formation, right? How do you manipulate numbers? All right, that's pro left eye, Y off. We start emptying the backfield. It's as simple as this for me. This is how I teach it. This is how I teach it to like youth. This is how I teach it to like maybe like other coaches or whatever that may ask my opinion. I just start manipulating the numbers, right? So you may take a fullback off the game and put in a wide receiver, a slot right here. That's my ace left formation. That's what I call ace left. So see right here where we got a fullback in a pro left eye formation. Fullback was either in line right here or behind the guard. So when I want to go to my ace formation, which is 11 personnel, right? 11 personnel. Ace formation is 11 personnel, one tight end, one running back. I bring in a slot, right? Now, a team's base personnel may be too much for me. They may be killing me with if you recognize a team's strength is their base personnel, why would I sit there and try to run the ball against their base personnel? Now I'm going to go 11 personnel. I'm going to bring a slot in the game, and I'm going to open up the field now. Now, instead of this being a linebacker, this is going to be a nickel that they bring in the game. I forced them to make a decision. They got to either play base personnel or they got to bring in a nickel cornerback. If you know their nickel is not that good, then why not put them in that position? Now I can still run outside zone, right? I still do what I do out of that. I can still run power. I can still run counter. So if you know their base personnel is the problem, why not go with 11 personnel, right, in this situation? So this is what I call ace left or ace right. Ace left, right? That's ace left. If I want to go to gun out of this, I go to ace left gun. Bring the quarterback to the shotgun and bring the running back here. That's ace left gun. Ace left gun. 11 personnel. We call that Fitz for Fitzgerald. 11 because he wore number 11. So it's going to be Fitzy or Fitz personnel, ace left gun, or ace left. With under center is ace left. In the gun is ace left gun, right? So that's kind of how that's the beginning of manipulating numbers and bringing people out of the backfield. That's all that is. So, and then you can go, you can do it. You can even go even further, right? So let's go. The quarterback still under center. Let's bring the tight end out of the game and bring in another slot, bring in another wide receiver. Let's go 2x2, right? Now we go 2x2. And instead of we got ace left gun, we got loose spread gun. I call this loose spread gun. Or loose spread formation. He's under center. Bring the quarterback from under center and bring him back into the gun. Now it's a loose spread gun, right? So let's chalk this up a little bit. Let's label this. How about this? How about we label this so we don't lose it? All right. These are just how you vary up your formation. So expect, again, a good offensive coordinator. Expect Luke Getsy to have varied formations. He has to have a library of plays. He has to have identity, but he has to have a variation of formations. Now, this is just what I call my stuff. It's not what Luke calls his stuff. So if you, like I said, you went out there and got you a San Francisco or Sean McVay playbook, then you're gonna see different titles put on it, and that's no problem. It's like writing your own language. So personnel fits 11 personnel, 1 running back, 1 tight end. Formation. This first formation we're doing what? Pro left eye, Y off. I'm sorry, I should have kept that. Y off. Right? We don't have a play. We're just doing formations. This should be 21 personnel. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to do this fast. I'm finna stop and pause for questions here in a second or comments. That'll give me a nice little break myself. So we'll go 2 running backs, 1 tight end. Pro left eye, Y off. That's the first formation. Pro left eye, Y off. Right? And from there, we start manipulating the numbers, right? So in this next formation, coming in, put your C, come in, C. In this next formation, we start manipulating numbers. We start going with 11 personnel. Start emptying your backfield. Start emptying your backfield. That's how you spread defenses out. That's how you start forcing them into changing their personnel packages, right? We force the defense to do what we want them to do. That's an aggressive, that's an attacking style offense. You force them with your personnel group changes. Fits 11 personnel. You attack them with personnel group changes, right? Force them to do stuff they're not good at. Their base personnel is great. Don't play that. It's that simple. 11 personnel, 1 running back, 1 tight end, right? So we have, let's put this back as ace left. Ace left is tight end, slot, quarterback under center, running back. 1 running back, 1 tight end. Ask yourself, out of this formation right here, can you still run? Now, notice I said, I switched the personnel, and it's important why I kind of drew up those other concepts, the play concepts, and the plays first. The question you got to ask yourself is, Ace left. That's the formation. All right. Question you ask yourself is, out of this ace left formation, can I still run outside zone? Can I run inside zone? Can I still run counters? Can I run tosses? Can I run power? Can I run wham? Can I run what can I run out of this formation? So it's not that complicated. You have your base core of concepts you run, but then you manipulate the numbers, the formations to manipulate the personnel groupings to get the matchups you want. That's all that's about, right? It's not like I'm just trying to be cool. I'm trying to be fancy. I'm trying to manipulate number. I'm trying to get a smaller guy on the field. I want to get this linebacker right here is causing me problems. I want to get a smaller guy on the field. I want to get Demo running against a nickel corner. You know what I'm saying? I want to get Herbert running against a nickel corner. That's all that is, right? That's manipulating the formations, right? So same thing with here. You can go ace lunch. You can go ace again, but go ace left gun. So instead of you just having this guy, instead of you having the quarterback under center, just bring him out in the gun, and it's ace left gun, right? Now, I'm going to build on this. I'm doing this for a reason because I want to build, and I'm going to do one more play. I'm going to put a zone read play in because you have to, you have to switch the formations to run certain concepts, right? So I want to run zone read. So I need to run zone read out of some kind of gun concept, right? All right. All right. All right. I think Swifty's handled a comment. Swifty, come on if you are ready, because I'm gonna do this one more play, and then I'm gonna get you. We can chat it up and see what you think about some of this stuff. All right. I want to do one zone replay because I just feel like it's a cool concept that I think we'll run in the Getsy playbook. I mean, why not take advantage of the fact that we got a mobile quarterback? In certain situations, I definitely want to run zone read, just a base zone read, right? And I want to run zone read out of this. Let's say I want to run zone read out of this ace gun formation, or I want to run it out of trips, right? I want to run it out of ace left gun. Let's add the gun to it. I want to run it out of this, or I run it out of trips. I'll show y'all trips formation later, right? So let's go with this. Let's draft up a play out of this ace left gun formation, right? So we got Fitz personnel. Fitz is 11 personnel, one running back, one tight end, right? So our base zone read play. Which way do I want to run this? I'm gonna actually leave. Yeah, I like this. So let's line up our defense. The backer's gonna probably go to the outside. This guy's probably gonna go 3 technique. This guy's probably gonna shade into his gap. It's all about gap fill, gap responsibilities, right? Now, notice I'm in the gun. This is wrong. I don't know how to change this letter, so I'm not gonna try. But this is wrong. This would be a nickel. This would be a nickel back right now. Unless they stay in base personnel, this would normally be a nickel because you don't want to leave a backer. Unless you're in zone, you don't want to leave a backer on this slot right here. Now, that's a dead giveaway. If you leave your base personnel in and I bring in 11 personnel and you leave your base linebacker in, if I'm Justin, I'm like, okay, they left the linebacker in when we went 11 personnel, and they in too high safety. Look, that's definitely zone. That's zone. It's no question about it. No way they're gonna match a linebacker up man to man on a slot, especially if he's any good. I would just they could. It would be crazy though. It would be absolutely crazy. All right. Now, what do we do with this? Let's run this zone read right here. It's simple, man. It is so simple. Last play design, but we're gonna run this. We're gonna block it just like we do zone. Oh crap. I'm just doing too much right here. I'm too excited. We're gonna block it just like we do zone. Block it, boom. Come out here. Everybody step two, strengths out of the formation. It's just block it like you do zone. Now, we're gonna set this up though. We're gonna set this up. Do me a favor, guys, because I just had a moment. Do me a favor. Whenever y'all talk about zone read, do me a favor. I just had a moment. It's zone read, bro. It's not read option. I hate when commentators on TV say that. I'm just a snob for terminology, bro. It's zone read, not read option. Read option is redundant. Read option. Option is the same thing as reading. So why do they say that? Like, that drives me nuts. Anyway, all right. Y'all get the gist of it. We're stepping strong side, the strength side to the tight end. We're making them think it's zone, right? And we're going to set it up that way. We're going to run the actual zone play, right? We're going to actually run the daggum zone play. We're going to have the running back come, and we're going to stick it in his belly a few plays and let him get up in there and get busy, right? Same reads, though. Bend it, bang it, or break it. Break it out, bang it, or bend it back, right? Same thing. Stick it in his belly, run it, set him up. If we're getting yards off of this, run it. I don't, listen, this is an easy play call. If we're getting yards off of this, great. We're eating them alive off of this. Their front seven's not that good. We're eating them alive off of this. Run it until they throw up. All right. What's going to happen if we're beating them off a basic zone read play is what's going to happen, guys? You're either going to slant your lineman, blitz your linebackers, or you're going to walk a safety down, make it an 8-man box, right? Put them in somewhere there. You're going to force people into 2 high safeties. You're going to force them into cover 3, right? You're going to force them into different coverages, right? It's a setup. Make it look the same. Exactly. Make it look the same, but everything looks the same, but it's different nuances. This is the same as zone. It's block everything the same, but add nuances, right? So they add the safety to the box because we're beating their head in with the zone, right? Okay. What do we do off of that? What do we counter that with? The zone read. We're reading this guy right here. The whole time you're giving that ball away, you're reading this guy right here. You're reading the outside man. If it's not this guy, if it wasn't this guy, it would be this guy, right? But you're reading the outside guy. You're not blocking him at all. We're not blocking him. We're going on the next guy. We're avoiding this guy at all costs. We're reading this outside guy, whether it's the tackle or whether it's the backer, you're reading him, right? You can run this the other way as well, right? We're reading him. So Justin's handing to Montgomery, heading to Herbert, handed to Ebner, right? We're beating the defense's head in. They walk the safety down in the box because we're beating their head in. Then say it's 3rd and 1. It's 2 goal to go. We need 2 yards. I'm not gonna keep running the same play. What do? Have Justin pull it and get to the outside. That's a basic zone read right there. Right? So we set it up. And then we have him keep it. Now, he can give it. That's the read. He's reading that outside guy. He either gives it based off of this guy. If he crashes down, the read is this. This is why it's zone read. The read is this. If he crashes down, when I start giving it, if that outside guy keeps crashing down inside, He's going with the running back. The running back's going here. This guy outside tackle keeps crashing down. Then you keep it, pull it, and run it. Now, I wouldn't do that with my star quarterback a whole lot. But in short yardage situations, in the red zone, I would definitely let him keep 1 or 2 just to keep the defenses honest, right? That's zone read 101. That is it in a nutshell. Now, the play off of that we'll add next week. That's the RPO. So you got zone read. You're giving it to the running back, You're watching this outside man, see if he's crashing down. Well, if he's crashing down, then you keep it. That's one option. The second option is the RPO, run pass option, RPO. So instead of you can give it. If these guys in no man's land, instead of you giving it or keeping it, you don't want to get your quarterback killed, or you don't want to run this in the middle of the field. Now you start running concepts to these 2 guys right here, right? Now you have to beat either man coverage or in cover 3. We'll talk about that next week. We'll add an RPO to this play right here, but this is a basic zone read play out of 11 personnel. Hope y'all like that. Let me know what y'all think in the comments. I've worn myself out. I'm tired. I'm tired of hearing myself talk. All right. Hopefully that makes sense. But I believe we'll see some variation of all this stuff in our offense because we have the personnel to pull it off. We'll call H left gun. The play is zone read. We'll call it 31-3. 33 zone read. All right. Boom. All right. Yeah. So I appreciate that, man. Again, this is me just trying to, give us something to talk about during the dog days of summer. That's the playbook concept 101. Zone read. So we added some formation variations in. We added some zone read in. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole kit and caboodle, man. Shout out to my boy Swift. He's joining the show real fast. We're bringing him up on the screen. What up, Swift? What do you think, man?
What up, bro? What up?
I got you. You loud and clear, especially loud.
Is it louder now? I switched my mic hoping it would be quieter.
No, it's a little bit louder, but it's good, man.
How do I turn? Hold on. Let me turn the volume down.
No doubt. Listen, yes, we're getting an RPO.
How about now? Is it lower?
Say something.
What's up?
That's good. It's loud, but it's not obnoxious. It's good. It's good, man. Let's get into it. Yeah, we're gonna add the RPO next weekend. I tried to add some formation variations in. We're gonna add the RPO. So we did the zone read, RPO off of that next week. I really believe we're gonna see all of that, man. So if you had a comment about Byron in there in the comment section, what you
and this formation here, this is one of the ones that I wanted to draw a play off. You kind of already touched on it. Yeah. He does the little option of the running back, and he reads the slot corner, right?
Uh-huh.
And he's got a lot of things he can do there. He can either hand it off to the running back, he can pull it, run himself, or the key is watching that nickel back. If the nickel back bites on the play action, you got an easy slant or crosser to that to your slot receiver right there, just right over the middle. That's one of my favorite plays in the NFL. It eats teams alive.
Yeah, we're gonna show that. We're gonna show a little bit. We're gonna show because this. So I hope y'all can see and appreciate the progression, right? I started with the concepts for intentionally, right? The zone, power, counter, bash, wham, because the concepts don't change, especially in the run game. You're just switching up the formation and manipulating personnel, right? Same thing with zone read, right? You can run zone read out of 2x2. You can run it out of trips, right? So I can show it out of trips. You can go, same thing right here. You can go zone read out of trips. I didn't mean to go into another play design, but I'm talking about it, so I might as well. So you can go trips, right? You can go trips bunches. It's so much. It's so much you can do. I just want to do it in a way that made sense, right? To make it progressive. So we can go 3x1, and you can still. This is a problem. This creates problems. You see what I'm saying? It creates. You can still run zone read out of this. Matter of fact, trips is my favorite formation to run zone read out of, because now defense has to decide whether they're going to stay in base personnel. Like how do you respond to this? How do you go? You go safety over, linebacker out. You see how you empty in the box now? It's crazy. Like, how do you play this? You create conflicts. You roll a safety over the top. What do you? The field is spread wide. You make it parking lot football, basically. But yeah, we'll get into some of the concept. But you're exactly right, man. You know, the RPO is going to compromise two guys. It's going to compromise this outside guy, or what would be this nickel right here. That becomes, instead of me saying Justin, read the entire field, I'm saying focus on these two guys right here, and we're just going to beat the hell out of them. You know what I'm saying? We're going to cause problems that way. What do you think about our personnel to be able to pull off this system, to pull off these concepts? What do you feel like about our personnel?
I like it. I mean, I think Justin Fields fits this kind of offense perfectly. If I was looking for, if I was thinking of 3-4 bread and butter plays for concepts that I would add, you already got your zone read and power that you've been talking about. This is what I would focus on right here, is when we go single back. There's a lot of things you could do. I like the top one, the three wide receivers with the tight end still out there.
Yeah.
Over 4 wide receivers, but that's the thing. It could be the same formation there. You just split Cole Kmet out wide sometimes if it's a obvious passing down.
It's funny you mentioned that. That's actually my very favorite formation. Ace gun, which is one tight end, one running back with a slot. It's so problematic, because if you pull, you can run zone off of this, but if you go wide off, you can still go split zone, and it's like having a fullback. It creates so much problems, right? You know what I'm saying? It's a problem, bro. I feel like
I like this for our passing game, man. And I think especially third and longs or third down formations, this is one where you can bring eventually, maybe not day one, but Ebner in at that running back spot on third down. And then when you look at how you have 4 wide at the bottom, you could do that either way. You could keep the tight end in, you could keep Kmet in to block, and you can roll. If you got Ebner in there, you'd want to flash Ebner out because he has such good receiving skills, and he's not a good blocker yet, whereas Kmet is a good blocker. But you could do it either way, and that's one of the things that we need with this, with the personnel we have, is we need to be able to give teams different looks. We can't do the same thing every time we come out in formation. So
Absolutely.
Being able to build off these concepts it's going to be, I think we'll have a few bread and butters. And for the first time since maybe Ron Turner was our offensive coordinator, we're going to have an identity. And I wasn't a big Ron Turner fan, but hey, he at least had an identity. He ran the ball and he did play action.
Exactly. Yeah, one of the plays I can't wait to draw up, or one of the past concepts that I love out of a trips look is, and it involves actually having, there's so much you can do, especially if you put a tight end out here. So this is trips, obviously it's trips, right? But you can go trips bunches. You can go trips bunches with a tight end out there, and you can get that in your quick screen game. So your quick hitches, right? Your quick hitches, and the quick hitch is a setup. It's a setup. One of my favorite concept is a hitch wheel seam versus cover 3. We actually ran that play. I was calling for it versus Pittsburgh. We ran a hitch wheel seam. So it was the deep pass that Justin hit to Allen Robinson that was on the sideline.
Okay, on the right side. Yeah, yeah. I
Yeah,
know what you're talking about.
it was a hitch wheel seam. So it was the X or the Z hitched. He pulled back like it was going to be a screen, right? He pulled back and flashed like, "Hey, throw me the quick screen." But what happened was, so that's the hitch. The wheel route goes here. The wheel guy goes here. I'll show y'all. It's like one of my favorite concepts. So I'm a nerd out for a second. The wheel the wheel goes right here.
And then I adjusted my mic again. Did it get louder or quieter?
No, you better now.
It's better now? Okay. I think I turned it the wrong way before. I turned it all the way up.
So you have your hitch right here. This guy come off the line. Let me draw this better. Escape. This guy come off the line. He comes back like he's catching a quick screen. That's all that is. I'm trying to show. I'm doing a terrible job of it. So that's your hitch, fake screen, hitch wheel, and then your seam. This is what Allen A-Rob caught. And it just confuses the hell out of defenses, right? So you got to hitch this guy, and it's perfect versus cover 3 because this guy has this cornerback has the outer third right here. This outer third is his whole responsibility. So when he sees his wide receiver going for a quick screen, what does he do? He jumps it. He bites up. And Allen, you know what I'm saying? This guy goes this way, and this guy's just like playing, what we call it? 3-card money.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like, what do? This guy goes on the scene, and that's exactly what happened. So Mika Fitzpatrick couldn't get over there in time to catch A-Rob on the hitch wheel seam. I was like, as much as flack that we gave, I didn't really think of it as a Nagy thing, but I was like, Bill Lazor, I was like, man, I got to give you your props, bro. Because versus cover 3 in trips, I'm definitely running hitch wheel seam. You just can't cover
see enough of it. I mean, it wasn't consistent. And that's the thing. Like, there were always
set up
play calls that I liked. You'd see them every once in a while, but a lot of it, if you look back to the 2020 season, not last year, but when Bill Lazor took over for that long stretch and we beat a bunch of bad teams and all the fans were like, oh, we're beating them because we're playing the Lions and Jaguars. And it's like, nah, man, Lazor was actually setting up his plays. We would come out and score on that first drive, and that's one of the biggest things you'll notice with Nagy is you touched on it a little bit earlier, how you come out, your first 15 to 20 plays are scripted, right? That's when the great coaches, they come out, Bill Belichick, Bruce Arians, whoever it is, Kyle Shanahan, they come out and they score on that first drive.
Right.
Because they got you set up. They planned for that first drive the whole game. And then the rest of it is kind of a chess match. Right. But Matt Nagy, we never scored on the first drive.
Right.
Like, this guy's supposed to be an offensive guru.
Right.
4 years. I think we scored 1 touchdown on our first drive.
Yeah, no, and you're exactly right. And I'll give you a bonus off of that. Either score or give me a long drive. Right. One of the things when I'm watching football, I see either whether it's offensively or defensively. If it's us on offense, give me a long drive and a field goal, or give me a long drive that even sputters out. Like, for me, it's not in a vacuum. What I don't want to see is 3 and outs, no movement, whatever. But give me a long drive and a field goal, or even give me a long drive and go for it on the 4th and sputter out. If you give me at least 7 or 8 of that first 15 script plays that you actually get the run, and you ran it successfully, I'm like, okay, we're working with something, because I gave the defense, first of all, the work we did during the week, we actually got it right? The scouting we did during the week, we got it right. So we're on to something. Now we can build on that. But if 3 and outs, Nagy, I don't want to make this about Nagy show, but I just can't work with that. Like, I can't build on that. So I think, one of those things that people didn't really give Bill, as much as he was allowed to do it, he actually put some stuff together every once in a while, man. I just think, man, with that group, this group is going to be so much better. Like, the only thing that's probably going to get in Luke Getsy's way is Luke Getsy, right? You can't go too egotistical with it. You can't start smoking your own dope as an offensive coordinator. You got to be like, okay, if you have a good week, so what? Like, I got to build on what I got. I got to get ahead of defensive coordinators because it doesn't take them long to catch up with you in the NFL, man. It's just, it is what it is.
Very true, man. It's kind of one of these things where now that we have a coaching staff that seems like they know what they're doing, they're building concepts, they're putting players in the position to succeed. We're going to see things in Chicago we haven't seen in a long time. And that's one of the things where a lot of fans were judgmental when we hired this coaching staff because Eberflus is a defensive head coach. Yeah. And they think, oh, well, if you're doing that, then our offense isn't going to be successful. But that's kind of the thing is we brought in coaches, and it's not just Getsy, it's Janako, it's the whole staff up there. They are going to put these guys in position to succeed. And not only that, but we're going to have an identity. And that's one thing where we're really going to build. We're really going to build, and this offense is going to improve.
That always drives me crazy about. So we pride ourselves on being a mostly like educationally driven channel, right? That's why I made the statement I made earlier. Fans, when we have free agent decisions to make, focus on system fit. The system is the star, man. We can't emphasize that enough. Focus on system fit before you go off the rails about, hey, this guy's a great receiver. We should sign him. No, you don't. You're not. That's why I think it's good that we have a X's and O's base show, because if we can actually talk about what the system is and why, no, that guy won't come here because what would he do in this system? He doesn't fit, right? Why would we sign a guy that doesn't fit, right? I think I hate to say fans because we're all fans, but a lot of us don't get to that point. We don't get to the point of, hey, man, this guy doesn't just fit. He doesn't fit what we do. But then again, if you watch a lot of guys we sign, they're not, again, the name brand guys that you would be like, oh, yeah, I'm flipping over my chair because this guy is so great. No, we brought in a guy to do a specific job, man.
You also, I think another thing that people overlook in that aspect is the locker room and the kind of atmosphere they're trying to put together as a coaching staff. They want people working as hard as they possibly can, not taking plays off, running full speed the whole time. If you bring in a bunch of veterans, not to say that veterans don't try hard, but veterans, after being in the NFL for 10 years, they know they're saving their best for the game, right? A lot of them, they're not going to come out there beating you down in practice. They want veteran days off. They want to rest their body.
Right.
They want all this stuff. And they also, some of them don't buy into that sometimes.
Right.
And that's something that has been rumored might have been a thing with Khalil Mack.
Right.
And it could even be with Robert Quinn right now not being there. Are they buying in? Do they want to run their asses off? Do they want to hustle? Maybe not. Like
it's hard to establish a culture with a bunch of seasoned vets that's been in the league forever, and they're like, "Man, coach, I'm older than you are." Coach, I'm older than you are. Like, mm-hmm. I'm not run who? Run what? Imagine having a locker room full of those guys, like umpteen-year vet. Listen, I don't normally do this, but I'm gonna get into some of the comments a little bit because you know your boy Don Burt is going in. But listen, I'll say this. Because Don mentioned, oh, you know what I'm saying, you guys know he talking about the coaching staff not being there. Don, we beat y'all twice with Nagy. Like, what do you do? What are you arguing? We beat you twice with Nagy.
He doesn't get it, man. And that's the funny part is Don, I didn't run into Don until this year on your show and some of my videos and stuff, right? But I found some video. Sometimes I'll just get into YouTube holes, I'm watching football videos, and I found a video from last year, right? and it's preseason last year, and Don Burr joins live with his cam on a 49ers show, right? And he goes in for like 15 minutes about why the Lions are going to the Super Bowl. Like, just going on. He's got all these reasons, like Lions are so good at this, Lions are so good at this, they're underrated this, they're going to take the league by storm. They won 2 games. Like, Don Burr, you got no credibility, bro. I'm sorry. Like, get something right before you try to tell everybody that they're wrong, man.
Send me that. It's all fun and game, but you know I'm gonna clip it up. Send me that clip, because I'm gonna put that clip in the chamber. I'm gonna make it a whole.
Don, we got a whole bunch from this year, man. We could just take pretty much every comment Don's laid out, save it for a year, and then we're gonna have gold. Like, you just pull it out. Like, anything Don said today, you can look at it and be like, oh, let me just clip this, save it for a year. Like,
Lions week, buddy. Both Lions week. I'm gonna clip it up, and we gonna cook. We gonna cook you in the comments. Matter of fact, Don, Lions week, you can come on the show. I'm extend a special invitation.
Come on, Don. We'll chop it up with you, man.
We can chop it up with you on the show. Lions week only. I'll give you that smoke. You want that smoke? I'll give it to you. Lions week. It's okay. Hey, Swifty, I made a comment about, I'm shifting gears. I made a comment about it being the dog days of summer, man. So, Swifty, basketball's over, man. I like baseball. I like going to the games. I'm not a baseball dude like that. Not like
I actually had a conversation with that like that the other day. I used to be, when I was growing up, I loved baseball. Like football and baseball, basketball, I always loved them all. But like when I was younger, I'd actually watch baseball all season long, like now I don't even watch it. I don't even follow it. One thing about it, first off, it's not in this century, right? Like they still using umpires to call balls and strikes, and then they show the charts after the game, and the dudes are like missing 40% of the calls. It's like, bro, it's 2022. Digitalize that and then get it over with. Like, and then the other thing is, there's no competitive balance. Being a fan of a team that's not like the Dodgers or Red Sox or Yankees, how can you even watch baseball? It's fun to go to a game, drink a beer or two, watch it while you're at the game, but I'm not sitting down on TV and following 162 games a year. Like,
like I get it. At the game, it's an experience. You get it all. You get the smell of popcorn, and you get the, you know what I'm saying? You get the.
I went to a game last week. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's crazy fun. Like, it is fun to go to a game, like, because it's like going to a regular park, but you just so happen to be watching some guys hit a ball with a stick, right? But you're actually more focused on the vibe and having fun with the fans, and you know what I'm saying, talking trash and cracking jokes and just being goofy. Like, that's the vibe. But I'm kind of like that with basketball right now, to be honest with you. Basketball I don't watch as much because I'm like, it's for the opposite reason though. Like the commentary around it, the music, the vibe is cool, but it's so soft now. Like, I got to take a 5-minute break to assess whether it's a flagrant 2 or flagrant 1. Bro, like, did you know? Like,
and they traveling on every play, Coach. They traveling on every play.
Like, they travel on every play. I hate to sound like that old drunk uncle, but and then, bro, did you know what happened in the 90s, bro? You would get no blood, no foul, bro. It was guaranteed. The first round of the playoffs was a guaranteed fight. It was gonna be a fight, but we gotta wait 12 minutes for you to assess whether it's a flagrant 1 or flagrant 2. Like, anyway, I said all that to say this, Swift. It's the dog days of summer, and I wanted to roll out the schedule for this summer, because guess what? If you guys are looking something to do and you're in the Chicagoland area, right? Check out the Bears, right? So the guys report on the 26th, so we got about a month off of just people making up stuff. By the way, I said this also. You're gonna see made up clickbait tweets and all this other stuff just to give people something to talk about in Bears Twitter land and social media, because we got about a month of just nothing, right? The guys are off. They're gonna be getting in trouble. Like, it
That's why
happens
it's the worst time to get in trouble right now, because
we got about a month of just being on pins and needles, right?
they got nothing else to talk about right now. So
Right. So clickbait tweets and all this other stuff. So the guys report on the 26th of July. They practice that week, right? When do the pads go on?
pads can come on. I think there's a ramp up period, obviously, but I think it might be that Monday, August 1st. Honestly, I don't know this year. That they change the rules every year, but they have some kind of like
Is it
ramp
15?
up period where you can't do it the first day.
Yeah. So they got about 15 practices before they start preseason games. So I thought it was like 10 or 15 practices where they got padded. So they may be eligible to start hitting on day one. I doubt if they do that, right?
I don't think it's day one. I know they have some kind of like ramp up period now. Yeah, where they have to have a couple practices before they can go full speed like that. They have to like go like 60% and then like 80%, and then they could do one at like 90%.
So my question is, right, we know we start the week of the 26th, the August. Let's say by August 1 they start hitting. When do we know what we got up front?
Not until week 3 of the preseason. It's a battle, man. These are legitimate battles. I think some of the positions they don't even have favorites for right now. They're like, we got to wait until the pads come on, because you can't really assess what some of these guys are going to do. Eberflus talked about it a little bit himself. He said he saw it in Indianapolis where they'd go through mini camps and some guys would be like blowing it up, impressing them every week. And they're like, this guy's going to be a player. And then the pads come on and they struggle a little bit, and then they keep struggling. And before you know it, they're just slipping down the depth chart because they can't handle it day in and day out with the pads on. And that's when you find out if they're boys or men, or if they're ready for this game. And that's a lot of these rookies. Once the pads come on, we're going to find out a lot. Obviously, the first preseason game, I think we're going to see those rookies in there a lot. We're going to see what they got.
Give them a lot of reps.
They're going to make mistakes, obviously, first action, but they're going to try to iron that out. And I think those first 3 weeks training camp are going to be battles. But whoever comes out and starts week 3 of preseason, the third preseason game, actually there's only 3 now. There's not 4. So, I forgot they shortened it up. But maybe even by that second preseason game, you might see our starting line actually filled in by then.
So let's reverse engineer that. So the August 13th game versus the Chiefs is the first preseason game. Let's back that up. We'll start hearing the noise. We'll start hearing the noise about, between the 5th and the 7th of August, right?
Oh yeah.
They obviously got to put the pads on before that first preseason game, and they want to, they want to get these guys as many reps as possible. So between the 5th, 6th, and 7th, I'm just trying to figure out when the noise is going to start. When the noise of the reports out of camp, like, hey, this is what the lineup is, and this is how they're doing, and blah blah blah. Obviously, by the 13th, we're gonna roll out that first look group, and even then, I'm not totally trusting it.
Yeah, they want to see what happens in action. I don't think the starters will actually be determined. They could have they're obviously going to have an idea by then. They're going to be practicing with pads on for a little bit. So when that Chiefs game comes up, they're going to know who they want to see the most of, right?
Yeah.
And then they're going to keep some of those guys in longer. I think it's possible guys like Lucas Patrick and Cody Whitehair could leave the game early after a few series. And then you could see like Braxton Jones, Jatari Carter, Zachary Thomas, Doug Kramer, all those guys in there, 4 rookies in the line.
Right.
They're seeing what they got.
So the message to Bears fans is don't lose your blank, because they're getting the young guys reps, as many reps as early as possible, and ramp them up into what the final line is going to look like on August 27th, which is the last preseason game versus the Brown. I wouldn't really panic until, you see that last game, until you get ready for that last game. You know what I'm saying? So that's the message to all of us, right? Don't go crazy on the first lineup, the first preseason game, or even the second one. I wouldn't really, like Swifty said, I really wouldn't worry about kind of making your take, if you will, or having your take until you get to that last game. Bear Truth 9 says, Coach T, Swifty, what are your thoughts on extending Monty? Would you pay?
I had this talk with my boy Stacks in the DM a while back. One thing, I'm usually not a fan of paying running backs. Like, especially in today's age, usually you see guys like even guys that are taken high in the draft, like Zeke Elliott. Yeah, they're really good on their rookie contract. Like, they come out, but then by the time they're on that second deal and you're paying them, like, that's when they're hitting, their body is getting wore out more. They're slowing down a little bit. It's just, I love Demo. I think he's a great running back, and I would re-sign him if he took a team-friendly deal. I'm not paying him anywhere near what Joe Mixon or Dalvin Cook got. Like, he ain't touching that much. If he wants like 3 years, 24, 25 million, like around 8 million a season, I'd do it. But it's also got to be short term. Those are my two factors. I want short term, so 3 years, max 4 years at the absolute max. But I want like a 3-year deal and around 8 million. He'd probably get a little bit more. They'd probably give him 10. So I mean, 3 years, 30 million. It wouldn't kill you because Fields is still a rookie for that whole contract. Still on his rookie deal. He's not getting paid much. So we're going to have tons of cap room. But if you start going into 5 years and big money, nah, like, walk out the door, bro. Khalil Herbert might even be better than him. I love Herbert's game. So
I agree with you, Swift. I know y'all probably get tired of this, us saying we agree with each other, but deal with it. I agree with you 1,000% with one caveat, right? The only caveat, which is not something opposite of what you said. It's actually to add on to what you said. The only thing that I would add is give him the 3-year deal, about 8 mil per, right? But what will get him the extra money has nothing to do with his skill set on the field. What would get him extra money, in my opinion, is what the guy brings to the locker room. He's just a different. He's a tone setter when it comes to the mentality and being a leader, and you can't put a price tag on that. So how he deals with the media, how he deals with the community, how he does all that other stuff, and how he kind of sets the tone for you saw a lot of those pressers from last year. Like, it was like, no, man, like, yeah, I know we suck, but I'm a grind. I don't know no other way. Like, you want that guy. You want that voice in your locker room. And I think a lot of times we underestimate the value of having a guy like that. Like, they're hard to come by. So when you find one that's going to be a team guy, that's going to be an organization guy, that's going to be a company guy, then you do a little bit more to get that guy to stick around. I agree with you, though. I'm not big on, like, you're not giving those crazy big contracts to running backs no more. And then also, here's the thing about paying a guy like that you publicize it. You make it known. Hey, the reason why this guy got that money, yeah, he can run and he can cut and he can do all that stuff. But the reason why that guy got that money is because he exemplifies the type of player that we want to bring into our locker room and build our culture around. So we worked with him and we came together on a good number. But this is a message for any guys coming up on contract in the future that, hey, if you want to get Chicago Bears money, you be this type of guy. And we'll go from there. But listen, man, Swift, it's always great having you on, bro.
Always, man. The only other thing I want to say about that is one of the reasons why Another reason, one is I'm not a big fan of paying running backs, but I love Khalil Herbert, man. I think we're going to see a lot more of him this year.
Yeah.
What he did last year as a rookie, in the time he filled in for Demo, he actually was better than Demo on a rookie. He was coming in as a rookie, unprepared, and he handled a full workload. His vision and burst is just it's next level. I love that kid. I think we're going to have at least a 1-2 punch this year with those two. So, I mean, I'm just excited about our running back room. But I love Demo. Personally, like, Demo is just a great guy. I know everybody in Chicago loves him, so none of us want to see him go. But you also just can't give huge money to running backs. Like, it's just not in today's age, because there's always so many good young running backs coming out of the draft. Like,
right. No, I agree with you, man. It's going to be a tough decision. I don't envy Ryan Poles in that. But, again, we know how we feel about Demo. I agree with you with Khalil Herbert, man. He showed flashes of it. I think Demo coming back kind of stole a little bit of his juice last year. You know what I'm saying? Like rhythm as far as timing. And he wasn't able to be the same back, like just not having those same live reps. But I see it happening. Listen, I see y'all got a few more comments down in the comment section. Bear Truth 9 came back with a second one, so we'll go ahead and take this one in before we get out of here. Would you extend Monty on now on a cheap cap hit, or wait until he runs up against it? I think that I'll take it first. I think that now versus later money always. So why not extend him now?
with Monty?
Yeah, before he blows.
This is his last year, so I mean, he's on the last year of his contract right now.
Mooney.
Oh, Mooney. I'm sorry. I thought you said Monty. My fault. Yeah, Mooney. I'd give him the bag, but I mean, I don't know if he's going to want to take it yet.
I think it would be unwise for him to take the money now. They offer him now.
I'd give it to him.
Go out and bet on yourself. Play with this new time and this new connection you have with Justin. Put up the numbers and get your bag. Now, from a GM standpoint, I'm saying, hey, you know what I'm saying? Come on in. Let's talk. What are you thinking it's going to look like? Because we got to base it off your now stats. You know what I'm saying? The likelihood that he comes out and tears up the league or does better is that much more likely now. So, yeah. And then wide receivers can get expensive. So
I think they might want to see what he does without A-Rob on the other side still in attention, and what he can do with Justin Fields on a full season. But I think Mooney's got all the potential in the world. One of the only reasons why you might not want to do it yet is you don't want to offend Roquan. Like, this is his last season, and he's a team leader. Like, I'd make sure Roquan's the guy I'm talking to right now. Like, make sure you secure Roquan, get him his bag, and then talk to other guys like Mooney and Demo. But I'd make sure Roquan is paid and happy. Like, he's the leader of our defense and probably the best player on our team right now, other than Justin Fields coming up. So, I mean,
you gotta pay Roquan. Like, you gotta pay him. Like that. So counter to what I said about Debo, right? If you send the same message, if you don't get Roquan paid, right? If you don't get him paid, you send the same message. Like, oh, here we go again, new regime, but same old cheap bears, putting people on franchise tag, is not paying them. You could kill your locker room, especially that's impressionable. That's a young, impressionable locker room. By the way, you're trying to send a message to a bunch of players on 1-year deals that here's the place you come and make a name for yourself and actually earn it. You earn it, we'll pay you. So you got to pay somebody, right? You got to pay somebody at some point. Anyway,
yeah, you don't want to upset Roquan. I mean, that's the only thing is, I mean, Roquan's been such a soldier for us, and he's so good. Like, obviously, yeah, you can. Jordan made a good point. I don't think we can extend Mooney yet. I think we have to wait till the end of the year. He has to play 3 full seasons before you can extend him anyway. But you don't talk to Demo or any of those other guys until you give Roquan his bag. Like, Roquan's got to get paid. Like, that's the bottom line. Like, that man needs to be locked up and happy. We got so much cap room. Like, you can do so much with. you got to get that deal done. Like, that's one thing that I think they should probably get done before the season starts over this next 6 weeks, honestly.
For sure. Listen, guys, I told you about it at the beginning of the show. I don't know if everybody caught that. Listen, we're going to be moving the playbook to a Wednesday night show. We're going to focus on the playbook on a Wednesday night. That and that only, leaving this show for only me and Swifty to talk about. Coach T and Swifty talk about stuff, talking points, right? So we're splitting the show. I told y'all, every 1,000 subscribers, I'm adding the show. So we're working on the third show. Let's get us to that 3,000 subscribers. By the way, also, Swifty announced it on Twitter. So now that he's on the show, I'll say it again. Yes, the show is monetized now. Yes, we can get the super chats and the super stickers going. So I'm excited about that. Swifty, it only took me 4 weeks. It only took me 4 weeks to go back and forth with those guys to get it done, but I'm glad it's done, man. So the show is monetized now. So we're going to start adding shows every 1,000 subscribers, and also leading up into the seasons. We're actually bumping the show up an hour to 12 Eastern Standard Time to 11 Central, leading up to the show, because I'm not talking to y'all during the game. I refuse to. That's just the bottom line. So we're going to do that. We're going to go for that. I appreciate you, Swifty, as always, man. So we're already about an hour and a half in. Any last thoughts for the day?
Let's see. Thoughts for the day today? Man, I mean, what didn't we touch on? Offensive line a little bit. Someone asked in the comments, now that we're past mini camp, we're heading into training camp, rosters are pretty much finalized. If we were going to add somebody with all the cap space we have, what position would you look to add right now? I figured, for me, I think the positions on the defense or on the team that could use a player would probably be defensive tackle. I'm a little worried about, and then possibly a veteran at right guard or offensive tackle. But I kind of want to see what Borum and Jenkins and Braxton Jones can do.
I agree. I'm just getting vets. I'm getting vets at every position where I'm young at. That's all I'm gonna do, and bring those vets in to make it harder on the young guys. Hopefully, some locker room leaders that can show them how to be professionals, right? Because you can't go super young either, right? Understand these guys is young. They're gonna want to be out in the streets. You know, you got to bring some pros in to show them how to practice, to show them how to prepare. Then to show them the nuances, the tricks, and the trade, and all that other stuff. So bring in offensive vets on the deep offensive line and defensive line, right? And I wouldn't put it. I wouldn't be mad if we brought in like one veteran wide receiver. I
feel like we got a few. So
yeah. This maybe got something left in the tank. You know what I'm saying? That again, that's a pros pro that shows people how to practice, shows them how to prepare, shows them, hey, different looks, nuances, things like that. That's going to help them with the details.
We brought in how many veteran wide receivers? We brought in St. Brown, Pringle, David Moore, Dante Pettis, and Tajay Sharp. So they brought in 5 veteran wide receivers. So I mean, that's
a lot.
That's not bad, man.
It's a lot. All right, man. I'm going to get you up out of here, bro. Wifey downstairs cooking something and it smells good. So y'all know what time it is. Until next week, I may come on Wednesday. Y'all stay tuned. I may come on Wednesday. I'm just saying, stay tuned. Or not. We'll see how it goes. But I appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for tuning in, man. This your boy, Coach T. That's my guy, Swifty, the top scout in the business. Going over to Swifty's channel, man. He just put that Ebner video out. Swifty like a rapper from the 90s, bro. He put out a new album every 3 weeks, bro. He just like a 90s rapper, bro. He putting out double albums.
The two disc set, you know.
He putting out 2 disc albums. Go to Swifty's channel, man. Lots of new content out there. Always support, man. I appreciate everybody. Until next week, bear down, man. We out here.
Bear down, everybody.
All right.